Go.
All right, yes. Yes, we are. We'll see if we get any reactions here. Let us know that you can hear Freek and myself. I'll double check the audio though in the meantime. Yeah, Skype.
Hello, 1, 2, 3. Hello.
Seems good. Seems the audio's all
Very,
there.
very good. Okay.
Let's see. I hadn't got anybody to say anything yet, but let's just jump out to YouTube real quick and see what
Are
up.
there even people watching?
We got a
Maybe
thumbs
they're
up.
they're disgusted by what we did yesterday.
They hate this exceptional programming.
Yeah. Don't do it, guys.
Okay, well, Brandon says he can hear us both, so I think we're good to go.
Okay, that's nice.
All right, well, let's jump in here. Okay, so I made this awesomely named exceptional collection chains branch yesterday in the framework project.
Oh
And
yeah.
if we just take a look, I really only changed a few files, and let's kind of review them and chat about them because I didn't do a whole lot of polish. Um, so really, I just kind of copied our code over, but made sure to test drive each piece before I copy and pasted it.
Okay.
So, yeah, here on, I'm doing the code today, so my turn. My turn with the keyboard.
My brain can stay fresh.
Yes, stay fresh. Okay, so let's take a look at the tests first. So let's just open this little puppy here. And again, I really only changed 3 files, kind of just like we did yesterday.
Cool.
So they are way down at the bottom. This is a huge test class. That was actually
Mm.
something interesting. I noticed that the original support Illuminate support collections was deprecated and they moved it to
Mm.
like a different class, but all the tests still seem to be in this old support class. So I put them here. We'll see what people say. I don't know. But
Yeah, I think if you just follow how the rest are covered now, it'll be fine, I guess.
yeah. So let me here we go. I think here's where we start. So test catchable collection.
Yeah.
So this should look really familiar. Is the font size okay?
Yeah, I can read it in any case. I hope the people on the stream are watching the stream as well.
Yeah, if the font's too small, let me know. I'll bump it up real quick. But basically, same thing we did yesterday. I just made a straight collection, um, try, map, and catch. So basically, took the example test case we were using yesterday, and basically said, look, we can put try and catch, and if there's no exception, this thing just runs. So we got ABC
Yeah.
1, 2, 3, and then we have capital ABC 1, 2, 3. So super simple test, nothing fancy.
Yeah.
Test catchable collection handles exception. So same concept, but this time we're going to throw an error, and it's a catchable collection. And then inside of here, this is actually something I got from you, Frake, a while back. I did an assertion inside of the closure
Oh yeah.
to assert equals that exception was the catchable exception.
Yeah.
So
But
go ahead.
but what I think I see a problem with this test, but maybe it's covered by your other test. I think let me see. So we map over it, and I wonder if we don't catch the exception, then we go to this one, assert equals, and then the test will fail, right?
Well, actually, because we're catching the exception never gets thrown. Like,
Yeah,
so at
yeah,
the end, which this actually is better communicated in another test, but the point is that whenever there's a catch between the try catch block, the behavior should be that we get the original collection back before the try.
right, right.
So
Yeah,
notice that
got it.
this is better communicated in a test case a little lower.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. You have the original one here. Okay, understand.
Yeah.
Cool.
So then we have test catchable collection handles correct exceptions. So when we throw multiple different exceptions, we make sure that we pick up the right one. We're not just picking up any old exception.
Yeah,
So we got the assert equals here to make sure that the exception thrown by each, they match. And then if somehow we landed in here, this would fail. The incorrect exception was caught. And then
yeah.
similarly, we get that. We got test catchable collection rethrows unhandled exception. So we just throw a generic exception. We're trying to catch an invalid argument exception. And if that is caught, then that's not right. And then we just get it back.
Yeah.
And then test catchable collection continues with original collection after exception. So this is a really cool example. We have collect, we have the try and catch. We catch that we carry on, map through an exception. And then we filter them by int, and we see that we finally get just the integers back with the keys, just as you would a normal collection pipeline.
Yeah.
So the behavior of this is effectively that.
Yeah.
So there we have it.
Cool, man.
So we pretty much tested all
Yeah.
this yesterday by like commenting out and messing around with one of them, but now they're nice and clean.
Yeah.
So let's
I like it.
take a look at what was the other thing? So let's go to collection, and here we just added try. So yeah, illuminate collections. Oh, I can't go down. There we go. Way down here at the bottom somewhere. Yeah, here we go. So wrap the
Yeah.
following collection method to be catchable. I don't know, not the most awesome name. And then we return a catchable collection proxy, and we
Yeah.
try and we call new catchable collection proxy with this. So this is basically the class you wrote yesterday. I didn't change too much other than just some simple naming. So
You still have the PHP duck block in here.
actually, I noticed that this they used that underneath. They used it in their
Ah.
higher order, so we're cool.
Ah. Okay.
They just
Nice.
made it an enumerable instead of the collection class directly.
Ah. Yeah.
I think enumerable is where all the cool stuff is anyway.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
PHP
Cool.
Storm doesn't like it because it's not. We're saying it's a mixin, but we're not actually leveraging those things. So that's PHP Storm. We just called this collection like whatever else. We got the called methods. We wrap the collection. Same thing. We just accumulate all the called methods. And then down here we do a catch with, I called it handlers instead. It just made more sense, exception handlers.
Yeah.
And then I keep track of the original collection. I think this was the only change I made. I keep track of the original collection before we start looping over them. And if there were an error, we just end up returning that and catching the error.
Yeah.
Otherwise, of course, we rethrow. And then finally, if we get all the way to the bottom through all this junk, you get the collection of all the applied parameters.
Yeah.
Okay, now,
It seems like we got it pretty good
yeah,
yesterday. Then yeah, nice.
there's two things that are a little bit weird that are open for discussion, and then we can pop the PR.
Hmm.
Okay, first of all, if you did not type hint your catch method, this is probably going to explode. This
Don't
particular
we
line.
use don't we use the exception then? Or this part here. Yeah.
So like
Okay.
if I mean I can run this test. Let's just
Yeah.
make this test so I can demonstrate it.
Yeah.
So let's say, because there's no requirement like in the code. I mean, obviously there's kind of a unspoken requirement, but if I do something like this, and we'll say test catchable collection explodes,
Okay.
and we'll run
Uh,
all these. Yeah, so failed asserting that exception of type error matches, and what you end up getting is basically this error, a
Yeah.
PHP error gets thrown because we could not call get name on null.
Yeah. Okay. So we need to have like a check for that
I think
particular thing.
at the least we would probably want a prettier message.
Yeah.
The 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 issue is twofold. One, we make the assumption that this is a named type,
Hmm.
which I think is fair in my opinion. But I don't know. I don't know how pretty we want to make all this. I think if you don't pass, I think the simplest thing to do would be to say optional here,
Yeah.
and basically if then we the default is just to make the exception class.
Yeah. That was
So,
what I was thinking.
okay.
But what then if you forget to pass any parameter at all? You don't even pass exception to the closure. Do you
Mm,
want to do something then? Because that people might think like this is gonna catch everything. I don't care about the exception
yeah.
at all. Just catch it for me. That would be
No,
like
I like it. I
what
like
I
it.
yeah.
Let's test drive these both.
Okay.
So let's say that you just say, give me the exception, but you don't
Yeah.
type hint it. Okay, so
Yeah.
test catchable collection defaults parameter defaults to base exception,
Yeah.
something like that maybe.
You could also argue that it should default to throwable, that it just should
Okay,
handle everything then. That I'm
default.
not saying we should do it, but it could we could do that as well, huh?
Yeah.
Catch all, yeah. Yeah.
Can you type something to throwable though? I mean, I guess you can, of course.
I think so. I think so. Yeah.
Okay, fair enough. So we'll just keep this basically, and it won't be
Yeah.
rethrow me. It'll be catch me,
Yeah.
and we don't have any of that. So this test will actually look a lot more like, kind of like this actually. So let's just copy this one. I'm getting some stuff in the chat. Optional does not catch a method. Does not exist exception so far as I know. True, but it
Yeah.
handles calling null. It handles calling a method on null, I believe. We'll find out. That's why we're writing the test. So we've got ABC. We're going to try letter. We're going to throw an exception. And then we'll take this off.
Yeah.
So, and we'll just make this a little more clear. We'll say like, catch me with no type hint.
Yeah.
And we'll do that. And this should run. Well, right now it should fail. Okay, call to member function get name on null. Okay, so gummy beer was right. We can't do
Yeah.
it that way.
Mostly he's right if he says something. I know him a bit. He knows his stuff.
Good. Okay, well
Yeah, I
we
think
don't have this wrapped in optional right now, so wait a second. I might have spoken too soon. Maybe he's not right. Let's wrap it in optional, like we thought it would work, and see what happens. Haha, gummy beer, eat it.
but it will become a problem when we write the next
The
test
next
because you
test
have a
will dry.
chain.
Yeah, the next test
You have a
is
yeah. Then it's gonna fail. Yeah,
if we don't
between
pass any
parameters.
parameters, it's going to be a problem.
Yeah.
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 Which so yeah, everyone's right. How about that?
Yeah.
All right, so let's drive that out to the point. So test catchable collection. What should this be? Does not require
A parameter.
parameter.
Parameters. Yeah.
Cool. All right, so we're going to drop this now. And we should still... Ooh, how are we going to test this? We would want to assert that we got in here, but we can't
You
really...
you could do it very ugly and have like a variable on the top of the function
Yeah, like a flag.
and use it like a flag and then yeah use it by reference in your closure, something like that, and then you can test it on the end.
Yeah. What's interesting is the catch statement. Can you modify the closure in here? That would be nuts. Or sorry, modify the collection in here?
Mm,
I don't think we have
I
a I don't think we
get
have a test for that.
you
So
should
many boundary
try it.
cases. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I think for right now,
What?
the simplest thing to do is would just say like, caught equals true, something
Yeah.
stupid.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah. You should define it on top,
all right.
and then you should
I'm surprised it
use it
doesn't.
by
Yeah, I'm
yeah.
surprised
You
it's not
should
saying that.
yeah.
Normally, PHP Storm's better about that. Maybe it's because I'm
Yeah.
no longer. Maybe it's because I'm not using it. Let's test that real quick.
And you
Well,
should also have like the little, yeah,
I
like
think
the
I have
little
to use it. Hold
Santa.
on a sec. Let's see here. Assert true. Caught. No, it still doesn't.
No,
Interesting.
no, because yeah, it's in a closure, right? So
Yeah.
you must have like use card here, and I think you also have to put an ampersand before that card there, because
Oh,
otherwise it'll be a copy. Yeah, and
yeah.
I
I'm
think
fixing it now. That's
now
weird.
it'll work.
Fair enough. I thought with scalars it was okay, but
No, no, then the card in the call will be its own copy, I think.
yeah.
And if you modify it there, it won't be modified in the global scope of the test, I think.
PHP's
But this is
smarter
good.
smarter than us.
Yeah,
Okay, call to undefined. Okay, so get type. So this is what uh, Gummy Beer was saying just a minute ago.
yeah,
Because we have a full chain and we're kind of null all the way down.
yeah,
Optional works if we can get this far, but right now we're not even getting this far.
yeah,
So we need to have a little check. We need to have a little check
yeah.
here that basically says if um, what does get parameters return?
I guess an array.
An array? Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay, so we'll say if empty parameters,
yeah,
then, and this is ugly, we're going to clean this up later. We'll say exception type is equal to throwable, right?
yeah,
Throwable class.
yeah.
And then else.
And I guess we can also camel case that exception type, right? That's how they do it in Laravel.
See, I don't I don't think so. I think Taylor just avoids double word names.
Yeah, okay.
Now, technically speaking, you're only supposed to camel case for objects.
Yeah, okay.
Technically speaking, this isn't an object. This is just a string.
Okay.
But again, when we clean this up in a minute, we might just end up calling that type, and we'll avoid the whole issue. So,
Okay. Makes sense.
all right, let's see if this passes, and we do, of course. Okay, so there was one more. Sorry, there was one more thing we mentioned just a minute ago. Um, and we're getting a lot of chat. So, Freek, I don't know. Maybe you can tell them in chat what's up.
Let's see. Why not camel case? Well, apparently, Jason just said that Taylor tries to avoid the issue a little bit by always or mostly using single word variables. So we actually don't know what like the default there is. And I guess it's also not important. If Taylor doesn't like it, he'll just change it to whatever he thinks is right.
Yeah, I'm
And
trying to find like a compound. I mean, that's my whole point. Like he typically gets rid of that, um, or just avoids it. Yeah. So I don't know. It was always my understanding that with PHP, scalar types were snake case,
uh,
and if you have which most things in Laravel are objects, which is why camel case is there. But anyway, I'm gonna call this type in a minute, so it's not gonna matter.
okay.
Um, we wanted to see if we could modify the collection inside of the catch.
Right, right.
And then I feel like we also need to like test throwable. Can you do a new throwable?
I don't think you can do that.
Okay.
It's a special interface, but
Okay.
you can't do it
Yeah.
on your
You
own,
can't
I
do it up
guess.
directly. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
What you can do, however, is like making some kind of mistake that would become a throwable. Like maybe I think a division by zero is an error, I think, and it will be a throwable. You could try to do that and see if that gets in the catch.
What was it? Make a PHP error?
Yeah, if you do like if you try to get one of the errors to be thrown by PHP by doing something that really isn't possible, like I think a
Mm.
division by zero is an error in PHP, which is a throwable,
I
and then you
gotcha.
can see that there's more than regular exceptions being called.
Yeah. So like in here, we could
Yeah,
do something nasty like
yeah,
10 divided by 0.
something like that. Yeah,
Let's just see
I
what
think
happens.
that
Hey,
I
it
think
still
that would be an error.
passes.
Fantastic.
I'm
We can do it. We've solved a math problem.
All right, anyway. Um let's say with no parameter or
Yeah,
no arguments to catch. How about that?
yeah,
Or it is parameters, right? I always get that backwards. Parameters are what's here, and then arguments are what you pass.
yeah. I always mix those up too.
Yeah. Anyway, okay, I think the last thing I'd like to do, and then we'll put it out for the masses, is it would be interesting to see if we can manipulate the collection in here.
Yeah.
I think. And then once these tests are all green, we'll go and look at this a little more and because this is yeah, it's kind of ugly.
What do you think? Can we do it or not
Oh, like can it
without
actually
seeing the
work?
test? Yeah,
No, because I don't think we don't get access to it here.
yeah.
It would be like a somehow internal access, like you'd be saying this or something, and that's
Hmm.
I don't think you should be able to manipulate the collection and catch.
Me, me neither. And I think you can't because this is now this class and not is the test class and not the collection itself anymore, I think.
Yeah. The only way we could do it is if we opened access to the underlying collection with like a get original collection method. Because
But I don't think it isn't necessary, I think.
I could definitely see someone asking, like, "Oh, in catch, I want to do some final thing with the
Hmm.
collection if something's caught." Like, I could see that happening. I could see someone asking
Oh,
for
yeah.
that.
Yeah, yeah. I retract my words. It could be handy indeed. It could even Yeah, it could even be very powerful that if it errors, let's do this and then the next steps in your chain.
Yeah, I could see
Yeah.
that, but I think it's kind of interesting. For me, I think the easiest thing to do would just be to allow them access to the quote unquote original collection, and then they could play on that, and then. But the interesting thing there is like, how do they return that, or like, how do they manipulate that?
I'm thinking how we can pass it is we could pass it to the callable we give to the catch function, right?
Okay.
As a second, the first parameter can be like the exception, and the second one can be the original collection if you
Mm-hmm.
want to have that.
So you have like exception, E, and then you get collection.
Yeah.
Oops, collection.
Yeah, and that is your original collection. And if you return that a collection in your closure, then we would allow it to continue. But I think it already works that way, right? Or not?
Well, I mean,
No,
we don't
because
pass the collection, no, but
no. I think we should check if that callable returns a collection, and if our callable returns the collection, yeah, our catch should return that as well.
mm, yeah. So this would be like test catch collection allows handler to um
Accept and return the collection, or it could be two tests.
yeah return collection. I don't know,
Yeah,
or
yeah, I
update
think so.
collection, modify,
And
manipulate.
I think return collection because you could
Yeah.
you could return a whole other collection, right? If you want to.
I mean, I guess
I
you could.
think
Yeah.
I think in your catch block at line 4382, if you add a return statement there, with like a new collection,
Yeah,
then your assert equals in the line below should be that collection, right? So here you can maybe do like def or something,
yeah.
some other values.
All right. Why does it hate this? Oh, it's got to be an array, of course.
Yeah,
They should allow the non-array format. That'd be cool.
that's another stream.
All right, cool. Okay, so we would assert D, E, F. Whoops.
Yeah.
And we know no need for the assert true flag anymore. All right, let's see if we can get this to work with minimal effort. I don't want to go too far down the wrong. Okay, so this fails because too few arguments were passed to the closure.
Yeah, because we haven't updated that
Yeah,
in our implementation, right?
yeah. So here you get the original collection.
Yeah.
All right, and then we basically, ooh, we can't
I
just
think,
straight do that. We would have to see if you return something that's not null.
yeah,
So we would have to do like this.
yeah, I like that. I guess, yeah, the only thing that you disallow then now for users is if they really want to make the collection null, you can't do that because then we will
Yeah,
use the original collection. But I think it's such an edge case.
yeah. You're doing
I think it's
pipelining. You
fine.
really shouldn't be returning flat null.
Yeah, indeed.
Okay, let's, you know what, just not to jump the gun, let's just put this back for a second because I'd like to see a failure. I want to be disciplined about the failure. We should get
Okay.
failures from the previous tests because now we're going to return flat null sometimes. Yes, to array on null. Perfect. Okay, so I just
Nice.
wanted to see that and
Good.
prove that for the audience. I knew it was going to happen, but it's good to TDD in a low.
Yeah.
Boom!
Fantastic.
Look at that.
Cool.
That's pretty sweet.
Yeah,
That was
that's
pretty
a
minimal
very
effort. So
nice
if you
addition.
if you pass collection as the second parameter, you'll get the original collection, which is here, and you can manipulate it.
Yeah, but that behavior we should test, right? Because we've only tested that the returned collection is being returned, but we didn't test that this collection in
Yeah.
the second parameter of catch is the actual collection that we're operating on. I
What do you mean?
we I think that that second parameter, are we already testing that if that is like the correct collection
Oh, like
that
I
is
see
being
what you're
passed?
saying. We're just flat returning a new collection, so it's
Yeah,
we should actually
yeah,
see that we receive the original collection.
yeah,
Gotcha.
exactly.
Okay, cool.
I think that's probably another test
Yeah, let's
then.
do it.
Yeah,
All right, so test catchable collection allows handler to receive
yeah,
original
exactly.
collection. Cool. And then in here, let's just put this puppy.
Yeah. And I think in the map function, you should also manipulate the collection so we know that you get
Oh, yeah, yeah,
like
yeah.
the manipulated collection and not the original one.
Well, map, we wouldn't be able to do it with map. We'd have to, well, we
Like,
could we could do, sorry, we could do, here, let's do this. Somewhere up here, yeah, let's do this one. And then let's take each. Where's the double up? I thought I had a double up one somewhere. Because map we have to return, so it would be hard to return and throw, you know what I mean?
yeah,
So let's do this. Let's do that, and then we'll change this to each, and then we'll throw in
yeah,
there.
yeah, perfect.
And then, oops, that was the wrong test. That was the wrong test. Sorry, people. So many names.
Your
There we
your
go.
brain is getting fried,
I know. I
Jason.
gotta ping pong to you. All right, cool. So, okay, so just to loop that over again, basically we're going to map, and so to demonstrate that we're manipulating this, and then throw in the next chained collection method, we're actually going to throw the exception, which is going to send us into catch. We get the collection this time, which is what we're testing for, and we want to test that the original collection is this, actually. And we won't manipulate it here, which means that this should also be that. Cool?
But this test will fail, right? Because we're manipulating it in the map function there with string to upper.
No, this won't fail. This is a good test case, but we don't actually need, we're not, well, let's just run it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's auto passing
Huh.
because we're always, I've already have tests that drove us out to always use the original collection here.
Ah, yeah. Okay.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
we already drove out that behavior, but this is a good test case to make sure no one like goes and changes what gets sent in here.
I wonder though, yeah, this is like, I think we already touched upon this yesterday. If there are steps that could run, like the first map, um, would we try to keep that collection and not the original one?
Yeah,
It's an interesting
I think,
choice there.
yeah, I think you end up in
I
a really, really, really odd place then.
Yeah,
Can we do it? Absolutely, we could do it.
yeah,
We could just keep mapping it, and by the time catch gets there, it's whatever it is what you get. And I think we kind of
yeah,
said we were going to do that originally, but then later said, well,
yeah.
it's a little more predictable of behavior to know that if any of these fail, you get the original
Mm,
back. And I think that's pretty. I think that's a pretty good line to draw, personally.
yeah,
Are some
yeah.
people gonna? Yeah, go ahead.
The predictability is like a good argument to do it like that. I think you could see it as like a transaction, right? A database transaction. You get all or nothing.
Yes, exactly. If you're
It's easy
wrapping
to
this
it's
in a try catch, you're saying that see if this stuff works, and if it doesn't, just play on with the original collection. Otherwise, I will do some manipulation myself in catch.
Yeah, got it.
I,
Yeah, makes
that's the
sense.
way I feel, but I definitely agree with you. I think some people are going to say, "Oh, well, shouldn't I get capital ABC down here?" And that's what this test is valuable for. Even though it auto passed, I think it's valuable to demonstrate that.
I wonder, JMac, something else that maybe we can do, but maybe it's for like a second PR or something. I can also, oh, maybe not. I can maybe also see a value in that we let people know at which step caused the exception. So where were you when the
Mm,
exception was? But that, yeah, I'm just thinking aloud here. People can already try to figure that out because you have the exception and you can, yeah, work the trace a little bit to see where that exception came from.
yeah.
So yeah, it's good.
Yeah, I think, yeah. I definitely agree with like all the things you're saying. I think we start to get into that kind of interesting, oops, interesting, scary place where we
Hmm.
start to get too fancy, and then I think, I don't know. It's like then there's blood in the water. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I
Um,
think when you submit the PR, maybe you should put that like in the description, like we
Jesus,
decided
this class is huge.
to pass the original array and see if the big guy
Yeah,
agrees or not.
yeah, I'm with you. All right, let's make sure. Okay, so we're totally green. We got a couple comments, and then let's take just a minute to clean things up. So close your bind to define what's this. Yeah, I think we avoided all that. Shouldn't this be
Hmm.
done in a finally method? Yeah, you could argue, but now we're like completely repeating PHP. So the finally is really
Hmm.
just additional chains on the collection pipeline. So, or
Hmm.
on the collection chain. Nearly all collection methods return a new static, so you nearly never have the same collection after calling a method on it. Okay. Um, but the real catch behaves differently, even if I also prefer the original collection to catch in catch.
Yeah, so I think Tom is trying to say that in a normal try catch block, the code will have been executed and the state of your application will have been changed when you're in the catch block. But I think
So
it's
the
better to.
instance, are you saying the instance you get back is not the same, like the actual address in memory? Or,
No,
sorry.
I think what Tom is trying to say is that in normal PHP code,
Hmm.
if you're in the catch block, all the code uh, in your try block that could run has been run,
Gotcha.
and it's an argument for passing the modified
Yeah.
collection to the callable. But I think this is better, the original collection.
Yeah. I think when you're working on data like this, I think we should think of it not like, even though it is try catch as far as exception handling, I do agree with
Hmm.
what you said. I think you have to think about this more like a transaction.
Hmm.
We're saying try to do these next things, and if there are any kind of errors, roll back to the original state and continue playing on in the collection pipeline.
Yeah.
And that's the way I'm going to
Maybe.
describe it in the PR.
Yeah, and you could argue to rename the methods to start transaction and end transaction, but I kind of like try catch because they are
Yeah.
so good names. So
Well, we'll see.
I
We're going
think
to
it's
open this
good.
up. This might not even make it into course, so I don't want to theorize for like an hour, and Rick's got a meeting. So let's play
Yeah, I'm
on here.
already late for the meeting, so I gotta quit in like a couple of minutes.
Okay. Well, one.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
if this doesn't make it in the core, I'll add it to my collection package because I have like a macro package
Yeah.
with all things that didn't make it into the real collection. The misfits,
Yeah. The misfit
the
methods.
outcasts, I welcome them.
Yes. So the only thing that I thought would be really cool, so if you got to go, no problem. I want to clean up this a little bit. I want to tighten that up just a little bit,
Hmm.
and then I don't like these for eaches. Like we're in collection land, so it would be really cool to make these be collections. Like
Mm, yeah.
how can we not for each this, but like you know map, not map. This would be more of a reduce operation or an apply operation where we continually applied the
Yeah.
same thing over and over and over again.
To me, I don't really have a problem with
Yeah,
the for each really, but I can see where you're
I
coming
thought it
from.
would be
It would
cool. I just thought it'd be
be
cool to like, yeah,
more elegant.
yeah. Okay, well maybe I'll just focus on this for a sec then. Somebody earlier was saying something about when we reflected, like we don't need to reflect it every time, which I thought was actually kind of kind of interesting because we know what
How
these
do you mean?
handlers are,
Ah, yeah, yeah.
and
But you need to reflect because like they're sometimes are not going to give like type in, sometimes not even a parameter. That's why we reflect, right?
yeah, and actually now that I'm looking at it, you're only going to get in the catch once, and you're only going to
Hmm.
for each once with an early return. So this is actually pretty optimized because as soon as it finds the right reflection or right exception, it's bailing, it's returning.
Yeah,
Okay,
I think.
so the last thing I'm going to do is we're just going to call this type to avoid all that.
Okay, no discussions anymore.
No. So if here's your type, here's the expected type. I mean, we're already in the context of an exception, so I think there's enough context to know what we mean by type. And then
Yeah,
how can we pack this down to one without being like crazy ugly?
I think there are two ways. Maybe we could extract it to like in a separate method with like an early return,
Yeah,
or we could use a ternary here. That's in my mind that would also be okay-ish. Yeah.
yeah. Yeah, that's fair. Um, yeah, it would be nice if the reflection was done elsewhere.
Hmm.
you know. Yeah,
Or
you could
third.
do a
Hey, no,
ternary.
no, it's here too. Yeah.
I don't like the ternary with the null coalesce though. Like part of me would rather
Yeah.
just wrap this in optional and like just do a double
Yeah.
optional and call it done. I wonder if
Yeah.
I wonder
That
if
gets that gets unreadable very fast,
Oh
I
no, I'm
think.
with you on the unreadability. I just want to see if it works real fast. We got the tests. Let's see if this runs. Yeah, it does. Okay.
Yeah. In PHP 8 we can do this, man. PHP
Oh
8.
yeah?
I Yeah, there's like a new RFC with a new operator
Hmm. I saw some
that
buzz about that yesterday.
yeah, that seems really nice. And that would solve this immediately, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. We kind of already crapped out about the name, and now we're kind of not liking this. So here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna just say, um, what do we need here? Callable. Yeah, let's just do this get exception type, or even just drop the get. We'll just say exception type of callable, and let's just crap all that out. And there we go. Let's add this method. It avoids the naming. It avoids everything. We get a better name anyways. I like that exception type. We know it's a closure, so that's probably fine. Although we don't type in, right? So there we go.
Yeah.
Okay, so if empty reflection, get
Just
parameters.
return.
Yep, just return this straight up, and then otherwise we can return what we had before.
Yeah.
Whoa! Help!
Oh my God. Syntax error.
Yeah. What did I break?
Uh,
What line was that? Line 64. This exception type callable.
Maybe you should
Oh,
put
can you
it in
not
a
do
separate.
instance of?
Yeah, I guess so. You
Oh
can't have a
man.
function there. Probably because it's a language constructy thing or something. Yeah. So yeah, name and
Oh,
type
it
and it'll
hates
be
it.
okay. Yeah.
I don't like it.
Oh,
Freak.
and Taylor hates private too, so you have to make that function protected.
He hates private?
Otherwise, yeah. I think it's all protected, right, in Laravel?
That can't be true.
I think
All
so.
right, here we go. It's got tons of private
Oh, there.
functions.
Oh,
I mean, maybe not
hey, I thought
tons
that
in
more,
fairness. 14 out of probably like a million
but it's being
methods.
used. Yeah, and for and for me, this makes sense to have this private. I would do it private as well. So
See, I
let's
default to
keep it
private.
like
I'm
that
the
then.
yeah. I don't write a lot of protected methods, but there's a lot of different reasons for that. Um,
Yeah.
okay. Anyway, I kind of hate that you can't
Okay.
can't do that there. Huh. I hate the
Hey
temporary
man,
variable. You gotta go. Yeah.
I gotta bail out.
All right. Frake's
So gotta go
bailing.
to my meeting.
All right. See you, man. Thanks
Have
for
fun,
stopping by.
everybody. Bye, JMac. Until next time.
Yep. See you, man. All right. Frake is gone. It's just me. Let's get this wrapped up. Yeah, I don't like this temporary variable here is the only thing that's kind of annoying me. I wonder, just for giggles, let's just change this to get class? Or no, we would get the class on the exception. So what if get class is equal to, I hear y'all chatting. 1 second, let me just play with this. Here we go. Let's do this. No, it doesn't like that. Catch me with no parameters, catch me with no type hint. So I think it doesn't, I don't think you can maybe compare against the throwable class, possibly? Let's see what people are saying. How about a method get exception? You just use multiple conditions with early returns. Yes, nearly. Yeah, so we could pass both things into callable. No, a quality check won't check for inheritance. Yeah. Yeah. All right. Let's just leave this. We'll PR it, and maybe I'll clean it up at a later point in time because I want to get this PR done. Plus, I'm gonna live stream some Blueprint in like 45 minutes, and I want to take just a tiny, tiny break. Okay, so let's make sure we're back to green, which we are. Great. Git add dash P. Okay, so we collapse this down and move that to its own method. That makes total sense. So we're going to say yes. Here's our new fancy private method. Yes. And here's our new test cases. We added, what, 1, 2, 3, 4 more new test cases today. Awesome. All right, I'm just going to get append that because I already made this commit before, and it's all the same thing. I'm not going to do a whip or all those other things fancy kids do. And you can also close your eyes because I'm going to force push this. It hasn't been shared with anyone or merged with anything, and I'm the only one working on it. So again, I'm totally cool with that. Okay, so let's make this PR. I also made sure to give both Freek and I proper attribution here with GitHub's fancy co-author status bit. Oh, GitHub, what are you doing? Let's try again. I broke it with the force push. Look at that. See, don't force push, kids. All right, let's see here. Can't automatically merge. I don't want to merge there. What's wrong with you? Whoa. Oh, I put it, you know what? I did this off the wrong branch. This should be going into 7x, although they might want it in master. But technically it's not a breaking change, it's only additions. So you know what? I need to actually branch this. I branched this off master, but it needs to be branched off something else. So let's take a second to fix that. What's the easiest way I can do this? Git fetch. This is going to be ugly, but I'm going to do it. Git fetch origin, or no, upstream is Laravel. Git reset dash dash hard upstream 7.x. So I'm going to make this branch look like Laravel's upstream. I'm going to lose my work, but I already pushed it up. So I'm okay with that. And there's always the ref log if I really screw stuff up. Okay, so if I do get Lola, we should see I have my little collections bit right there. So let's bring this back to life. So let's try to do a git cherry pick our stuff back onto this. And I figured there would be some issues. So this is okay. Let's add this. Git add that, but the collection class. You know what? I wondered why collections was in the weird place. Illuminate support collection, illuminate collections deleted by us. Us and them is always so weird. Yeah, see, there's nothing in here but what we added, right? Yeah, that's gross. Okay, so let's remove this. Git rm that. Okay, so we just have our two changes back, which is cool, but the issue now is the collection stuff got moved elsewhere. So where did it go? It is in support. Okay, no problem. Is that right? Or did they put everything on like a numerable now? See, that's interesting. Do I put it on collection or do I put it on a numerable? I'm going to put it back on collection. Not sure if that's right or not, but we'll find out. Taylor will tell us. He will show us the way. All right, let's go back. Sorry, my Chrome shut down. Let's go back to GitHub and let me just pull that. What do we have here? Framework. I want my framework. And let's look at our commits and let's get this back. So we have everything else. We just need this. This is all we need. We're just going to put this at the bottom of collection. One too many line breaks there. Why does it not like you? We'll import you. And then let's run all our tests again. PHP Unitsville. Okay, we got an issue. Catchable collection proxy, because it's not in the right spot anymore. Yeah, it needs to be here, so the namespace is wrong because all that got moved. I thought that was really, really strange the other day when I saw two of those. That should have been an indication I was putting things in the wrong spot. There we go. All right, still an issue. Illuminate collections, catchable who doesn't like it? Oh, I imported it. This class is huge. Does anybody know how to scroll all the way to the top in PHP Storm for like these massively long projects? Could I use rebase? Maybe, maybe. The reason I didn't use rebase is because the assumption is that master is the latest work, so it's basically Laravel 8. And I'm assuming that it probably had a lot more commits than I wanted, so rebase is really when you want to like bring things up to date, and I really didn't want to do that. I actually wanted to like I actually wanted to like debase. um so so yeah, that's why I did it this way. All right, let's see if this works out now. Hey, there we go. Cool. So we didn't need to import that. I had the old import. That's all that was wrong with that. Okay, cool. So let's do a git add-p and just make sure I didn't introduce anything weird. So we fixed the namespace. It is in Illuminate support, which is good. And we only added try to the bottom, which is what we needed. And there we have it. So we have git cherry pick dash dash continue. And we got add collection exception handling with try catch, and then co-authored by Freek. Awesome. We both co-authored it, but yeah. And now we will get, yeah, see, here's why I didn't rebase. Laravel 7 has 27, or sorry, master has 27 different commits. Or no, that's right. Laravel 7 branch has 27 different commits, and the master branch has 319 commits. So again, that's why I didn't want to mess with it. Git push origin head dash f. Yeah, just there's 100 different ways you could do this. This is the way I did it because it made the most sense in my mind, and I felt like it was the fastest. So, all right, cool. Let's see. All right, yeah, let's compare and pull request this, and this should be a lot cleaner. Okay, so good. We're able to merge now. We're going into 7. We co-authored with Freek, and I won't write all this on the live stream. I will open this here up in just a minute. But basically, what I want to do is just say, this is in reference to a tweet earlier in the week, which allows try, catch, or let's say which adds some syntactic symmetry for using try catch in a directly with the collection methods, directly with collection methods. Cool. And then we'll do like a little before and after, and I'll take the code snippets that we used from Twitter. And then I also want to make a note, the current behavior, or we'll say something like, while this is named try catch for, I don't know, not really convenience. What am I thinking here? It's not convenience, it's like familiarity. The behavior in this case is more like a database transaction. Yeah, okay, so I'll basically elaborate on that a little bit. So I'm going to link up to the tweet just to demonstrate that, this thing got some recognition. We see that Freek and I were both involved, so that's cool. I'll put the before and after code snippet in here. And again, this is all important. You don't just want to open up a pull request with nothing here. It doesn't matter if it's Laravel, any kind of framework. I don't know if Nuno's still on here. He'll tell you. I'll tell you from Blueprint. Don't open PRs with just the commit message. It makes it really hard on the maintainer. So you want to kind of sell it here, but you don't want to oversell it. I don't want to read, a novel here. I want to see nice, tight, what I'm doing. Here's an example of before and after of how it works, and then kind of any caveats. It closes this issue, it fixes this issue, it's referenced in this other PR, that kind of stuff. So nice, quick one sentence introduction, before and after code samples or before and after fixes, and then kind of just some final comments. So brief, but have something, but not too much. Goldilocks. Okay, cool. So again, I'm going to finish this up, but I appreciate you all watching the live stream. I'm glad Freek was able to join. And if you want to join me again, I'll be firing up the live stream here in about 35 minutes now, and working on Blueprint. So thanks all, and hopefully you'll see this PR pushed here in about 10 minutes. See ya.